Hey everybody, it's Adam from Poutine Politics. Before we get to this week's episode, which is on the Rhinoceros Party, just a couple of notes to add in here. We wanted to release this episode because obviously there's a lot of serious things going on with the election coming up, and why not add a little bit of levity to the situation? We all know the Rhinoceros Party isn't exactly the most serious political party out there, but that's part of the fun, isn't it? And the other reason that I was interested in releasing this episode now has to do with the fact that in Maxime Bernier's riding of Beausset or Beauce or however you pronounce it, my French is terrible too, even though there's French in my family, the Rhinoceros Party is also running a candidate by the name of Maxime Bernier, to add a little bit of confusion to the whole situation. So that's why we decided to release this episode now. I apologize for any sort of audio issues there might be. We did record this episode probably about 2 months ago, back in July of 2019. So some of the audio might be a little quiet. I've done what I can to try and fix that. We'll see how it goes, and maybe listeners can provide us with a little bit of feedback and let us know how it turns out. Thanks to everybody that has been listening. I'd like to give a special shout out to the people that have been listening in Hamilton. You tend to show up at the top of the list in regards to cities where the most people are listening as it comes in regards to everybody else. What the hell are you doing, and what's taking so long telling other people about the podcast? Anyways, enjoy our episode on the Rhinoceros Party, and we'll talk to you next week.
I apologize for all the French listeners out there. My French accent is horrendous.
His accent is aigu.
I get made fun of all the time with my family. I can speak French. Just like, really? Can you roll your R, please?
Welcome back to Poutine Politics. My name's Adam.
My name's Mike.
And today,
well, we're going to be talking about another Canadian political party, we'll say. It's the Rhinoceros Party of Canada. And I want to be specific about this. Not the Rhinoceros Party, the Rhinoceros Party of Canada. And this is important because the Rhinoceros Party was something that was introduced in 1963 and only ran until 1993 when a whole bunch of controversy occurred, and then they had to absolve themselves. Then they were able to rerun in 2004. They became the Neo-Rhino Party, and then they became the Rhinoceros Party of Canada.
So this is like the Reform going to the Canadian Alliance, going to the now current Conservative Party of Canada.
No, not what you think.
I mean, it wasn't as a result of a merger, but it was still like the changing names.
Yes, it was changing names. So essentially the party, when it originally was formed, they were fine with riding, but they didn't do every single riding. They didn't put themselves in every single province. And then in 93, they said, well, you have to do that. And they're like, well, that's not fair. So the person who was in charge, a man named Brian Salami.
That's a perfect last name.
It gets better. He decided to change his name to Satan, Satan. And he decided to file a lawsuit against the Canadian political system because he couldn't have the Rhino Party running. It was filed as Satan versus Her Majesty the Queen.
Wait, okay, hold on. How did he pronounce his name?
I don't know how he pronounced it. His name is S.A., last name T.A.N.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's the hockey player, Satan, or if it's Satan. I'm not sure. But he legally changed his name. So that way when he filed, it could be Satan versus Her Majesty the Queen. Now, the lawsuit got dropped when there was a new electric reform in 2004 allowing the party to recommence the way that was originally.
The lawsuit lasted for 11 years.
Apparently. I don't know all the details of it. This is a real party.
That is just the sign of
now
our Canadian. Well, I guess that's not the justice system per se if it's a lawsuit, but yeah, let's go with that. That is a negative. That is a stain on the Canadian justice system that this lawsuit could last for so long.
Yes. Also, keep in mind that one of the things that the Rhino Party believes in is that anyone can run off of any platform they want to. I should explain one thing further. It's that the reason why they are called the Rhino Party is because there was a rhino that was elected in Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Like an actual rhino.
An actual rhino, yeah. He was from the zoo and he was elected.
This is like that. This is like that city in what is it, Alaska, that has a cat as a mayor.
Yeah. But understand that the leader of the Rhinoceros Party is named Sebastian Rhino Corvier, because it's Montreal based.
Right.
Right. Of course. They had different party things, but right now, if you want to go to their website is eatgoogle.com.
What? Eat Google?
Eat Google.
Eat Google.
Eat Google.
Like eat as in putting something in your mouth and chewing on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. No. It's all good. Yeah.
I see where this is going.
The Rhino Party, because the Cornelius I was the elected official in Sao Paulo in the 1958 election. And the reason why they've gone with the Rhino is because by nature, quoting, politicians are thick-skinned, slow-moving, dim-witted, can move fast as hell when in danger, and have large, hairy horns growing out of the middle of their faces. Now,
I mean, yeah, some of their noses.
So the Rhinoceros Party has political platforms that they go off of, as of right now.
Okay.
For instance, they want to take Canada off the gold standard, opting instead to use a snow-based standard to boost the economy.
We're not even on the gold standard right now.
If they go to snow, we have abundance.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, man, our economy would crash every single year, though.
Listen, that's a problem for the summer,
Okay.
not for the winter elections.
The elections don't always happen in the winter. I mean, they're close, but they don't always happen in the winter.
Listen, okay, so next, to offset other problems, they're going to repel the law of gravity.
Yep.
They're going to promote higher education by building taller schools.
I've heard that one before.
They're going to pave the Bay of Fundy to make more parking for the Maritimes.
Okay, keep going. I don't even know what I'm going to say about any of this stuff.
They're going to count the 1,000 islands to make sure the Americans didn't steal any. They're crafty.
Okay.
They're going to change Montreal's Rue St. Catherine into the longest bowling alley. I have younger daughters that can speak better French than I am. They're going to ban crappy Canadian winters.
Whoa. They're going to ban winters, but they want our money to be on the snow standard? That's counterintuitive.
No.
Or they say, I guess it's like some snow is fine, but too much snow is bad.
Crappy winters.
Okay.
Everyone loves a little bit of snow.
I mean, what constitutes a crappy winter, though? Like, if it rains a lot?
Listen, the Rhino is always right.
Well, okay, I mean...
Believe in the Rhino. Okay,
They sound pretty left so far.
They're going to end all crime. Do you know how?
No.
They're going to abolish all laws.
Well, okay, I mean, the purge. The Rhinoceros Party of Canada is going to bring the purge.
Now, you know how Albertans are complaining all the time?
Yes.
Right? You understand this. Okay,
Yeah.
so they...
okay. Yes. That's fine. I'm gonna stick with that answer. Yes.
So they're going to tear down the Rockies so Albertans can see the Pacific sunset.
I guess if they get the sun longer, then it helps with vitamin D. With the creation of vitamin D and processing of vitamin D, and they won't fall into seasonal depression as easily.
There will be no seasonal associated disorder, the SAD disease, as they call it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Isn't there something in their platform though about taking the Rocky Mountains and moving them to the Maritimes?
No.
Oh, there is a political party that's
the Lemon Party.
That's which?
The Lemon Party.
The Lemon Party. Okay, I knew. I'm like I remember seeing or hearing that recently, and I'm like, okay. Anyways, moving on.
So apparently, and there's a big problem in, I apologize for the pronunciation, of course, Outremont, Quebec. So they're just going with grass. So they're just going to abolish lawn mowing because, let the grass grow. It's better for the environment.
That's right. I do that with my own yards right now. I mean, it's the middle of July, and I've only mowed my grass once.
Also, there's big killers out there, so we need to make sure we ban both guns because they're a large killer of people, and butter because, again, large killer of people.
Okay. So we're banning guns and butter.
Yes.
I'm okay with the guns thing, but I like butter.
I don't know.
had butter on my pancakes this morning.
Listen, you don't get to be choosy.
I don't want to go with margarine.
Well, you can't be choosy.
Whatever.
Okay,
All right.
so...
Hey, okay, they are not going to get the support of the dairy farmers if they're going to ban butter.
They can use the milk products for something else.
I guess. I mean, all right, whatever.
Yeah, okay, so remember how I hate lotteries? Well, they have a better lottery system. So
Okay.
they're going to form the lottery scheme by replacing cash prizes with Senate appointments.
I mean, I feel like that's pretty much what happens already anyways.
Mhm. And forget having 2 official languages. Replace it with having 2 official ears.
2 official
Ears.
ears.
Mm-hmm.
One that hears in English and one that hears in French.
Well, because the French word for language is the same word used for tongue. Mhm.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yep.
Woo! Over my head.
The Queen of Canada, we're going to move it to Buckingham, Quebec.
There's a Buckingham, Quebec.
Yeah, well, yeah,
I'd
there's
have,
Buckingham.
I'd have to Google
So
Maps that one.
Buckingham Palace, they want to say, you're the queen. If you want to be queen of our country, you need to move to Buckingham, Quebec, not Buckingham, England.
Okay. Do they? I mean, it's in Quebec. Do they actually pronounce it as Buckingham?
There would be a little bit of a...
They'll drop the H.
Let's drop the H. Buckingham.
Buckingham.
Oh, man. They're going to privatize the queen?
So she has to come here,
Mm-hmm.
and then they're going to privatize her.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? I mean, at least with the Queen in England being a public figure, there's money in their... there's money that the royal family earns that goes back into the country. If you privatize her, she just becomes a profitable, or like the royal family becomes a profitable business, and the people don't benefit.
But the queen does.
I'm not a lawyer. Or
But don't worry.
whatever.
No. The reason why is because they want the queen to stay here, right? They want
Yeah.
the queen to make more money. Your problem is that you don't know where the money's coming from. They have a solution for that. Don't worry. It's okay.
Okay.
They're going to tax the black market.
They're going to tax the black market.
Yes.
You know, they know that the black market isn't a physical thing, right?
It doesn't matter. As long as they get the money from it, they don't care if it's physical or if it's ethereal or if it's...
Well, I have to admit, with the way that marijuana legalization has been going in this country, taxing the black market would probably be better than what they've been doing so far. Did you hear any of the? Just to jump in quickly, the recent situation that's been going on in Toronto, where the police have actually been putting large concrete barricades in front of the doors of these, what they're calling quote unquote illegal dispensaries to prevent them from being able to operate.
Why?
Because they're illegal. They don't have their license from the government, so they're not allowed to sell weed.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, we'll talk about that another day.
I don't know why this party doesn't have more votes. I think this party deserves more votes. Oh, sorry. I forgot something. They're going to nationalize Tim Hortons.
Well, I mean, that would actually be a good thing.
Yes.
They have burgers now. Tim Hortons has Beyond Meat burgers.
Yes, I'm aware.
Yeah.
They have chicken burgers too.
Yeah.
They're $2.
I don't
Okay.
know. I mean, I don't know how I feel about that yet.
It's a large chicken nugget.
No. Whatever. You know what? I get the chicken wraps there quite often. Usually I get the grilled chicken, but it seems like not, half of the time I go, oh, we don't have any grilled chicken. Really? Okay, fine. Give me the crispy chicken. The crispy chicken's fine, but calories.
Those are the mythical creatures that sew up your pants in the middle of the night. Those are calories.
Oh,
And if I were to run in the Rhino Party, I would make sure to ban those as well.
that sounds anti-immigration.
No, they're already here.
Okay.
They're just not allowed to sew up any pants anymore.
Oh, all right.
That's what I'm banning.
So they're okay. So
banning-
you're gonna ban them from sewing up pants.
Yes.
Okay.
To make from the prevention of making calories, the mythical creatures that live in your closet, from making your clothes too tight. They're not allowed to do that anymore because that's what they do overnight.
Yes.
It's not my fault. That's what they do.
I mean, yeah. You know what?
Okay.
Over the last few weeks, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they were doing in my closet.
Right now, the political capital is not in the center of Canada, right?
Right.
So we should move it to Kapuskasing, which is the center of Canada.
I mean, I've been to Kapuskasing. It would not make it any more interesting.
No. It's not about...
Yeah, it's not about whether it's interesting or not. Yeah. I mean, you know what? They could do that, and it probably would not change a thing.
Yes. Now, clearly, I hope people can realize the Rhino Party, even though it is a real thing, and I really, it's clearly a satirical political party. There are other parties. There's Lemon Party that we mentioned before. At the SOC, if you're familiar with him, he also had the Fed Up Party of Canada, the FU Party of Canada. As a political satirical party, these parties do exist, and they're a way to protest votes. I've always had a rather amusing view on the system. I remember that one of the guys, I think he was running in Kingston, he ran on the campaign that if he was in office to deal with whether or not abortion was a thing, he said that while in office, he would never have an abortion.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
And because you always get political time, like most, if you're a recognized party, you oftentimes get ad spots on different television programs and things like that. And the one member from Quebec went on to a show and said 2 words: celery and sidewalk, and walked off. And that was his allowed 10 minutes that he walked off.
10 minutes.
10 minutes, 2 words.
Celery, sidewalk.
Celery and sidewalk, and walked off. That's all kinds of amazing.
I mean, yeah. I mean, okay. The people that run in this party must realize that they're not going to win anything. So why not have fun with it? I guess. Is that kind of...
The most votes they've ever gotten, I think, in a riding has been less than 1%. I think one person got up to 1% of votes, which is, when you, all things considering, when you know what they're trying to do, is staggering still. Like, how many people are just not bothering to waste? Because you can go into your ballot station if you truly don't like the parties or the political system or whatever. You can just not void your vote, but you can say, I'm not casting a vote, which is one of the best ways to protest your vote. Because what you're doing, you're saying, I don't like anybody on the riding. I don't want you to not count my vote as a misvote. Because anyone can dismiss that. I want you to say, this is the best way to say that the people that you don't are just, they're just not, my vote isn't worthwhile. That's one of the best ways you can protest your vote. But voting for the Rhino Party is just way more fun.
Well, yeah. I usually end up watching the CBC coverage of the elections when they happen. The fringe parties tend not to be shown at all. They're not even, obviously nobody's talking about them, but when you look at here's the results for such and such a riding, they usually only show the results for the people that are running in the major parties. So you don't even see the votes that are going to kind of these others. They don't even show them as others. And actually it's interesting because, you mentioned the fact that you can protest a vote by saying, I'm casting my vote for nobody. They don't even show that either. And you know what? It's probably an extremely small number anyways, but that would be interesting to see, even during election coverage. Because, let's say, let's say that it was 10,000 people across the country. So let's say 10 million people vote, and 10,000 people, their cast ballot was voting for nobody. I mean, again, that's 1% of 1%, but it would still be an interesting number to see. I mean, whatever. I'm a stats guy. I like to look at stats. So
the data's there. Oh, and on their website they report the weather in
Kelvin.
Why do you think they report it in Kelvin?
Well, I mean, the guy's name. Well, the guy changed his name.
No, he's not the leader right now.
Oh, he's not? Okay. Why do they report it in Kelvin? I mean, Kelvin is, technically the proper scientific measurement of temperature, but as to why they report it in Kelvin, I could not give you an answer.
Because the number's bigger.
Okay. Well, to a point.
No, it's always bigger.
Kelvin's always bigger? Well, Kelvin's always bigger than Celsius, but I think there's a point there's a point where Fahrenheit would be higher than Kelvin. It's just way up there.
Not
nobody cares about freedom units.
No, I don't ever want Fahrenheit to be higher than Kelvin where I'm living.
Well, yes, no, that's true. Okay, fine. I'm just saying scientifically there is a point where Fahrenheit is higher than Kelvin.
Oh, and another political platform that they ran on is that everyone will get their own personal nuclear power plant, and the government will provide lead underwear for everybody, so they won't have problems.
I mean, that'd be like working out without working out,
right?
Carrying lead underwear around all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah. Now, I mean, mind you, I think a lead suit would probably be better because covering your junk against radiation is only one part of the solution.
You can also send any political promises you want to send to their website directly, so you can make promises on their behalf that they want.
You can make okay.
Yep.
Will they add them to their platform?
Who knows?
Okay.
Remember, everything is copyleft, all wrongs reserved from 2015 to 3015.
Copy left. Yeah. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I mean.
Oh, and it's one weather for Canada as well. It's not 307.15 Kelvin, mostly cloudy, for a particular location. That's for Canada.
So is it like an average?
It's for Canada.
No, okay, I get that. But like, is it like here? Okay, we took the average temperature of everywhere.
It's for Canada.
Okay. So it's like when the Americans are like, oh, you know Joe from Toronto, right? Yeah, I know Joe from Toronto. Absolutely. I went to his igloo last week and we played cards.
I just, every time I hear anything about the Rhino Party, and like the best part is when you get serious politicians interviewing these people, like serious like CBC and things like that, interviewing these people.
Yeah.
And they're running on platforms that are just amazing. And it still costs, like it costs a person $1,000 to do this. Like this isn't something you just do for, well, you do it for laughs, but it's not cheap.
No. To put yourself in, like you do have to pay to put yourself in to the election.
Yeah, it's not like in Brazil where that Rhino did first run. You don't have to pay. And that's why there's like, sometimes on the mayor ticket, there's 40 people that they have to vote for.
Yeah.
You're like, what? And one person won because they distributed condoms to everybody. The Rhino Party tried to do it again. They had ran a prostitute in Toronto and tried to distribute condoms to everybody and lost.
I have to, I mean, like, I guess.
Sorry.
Did the Rhino have an owner?
It was a zoo rhino.
Okay. So someone from the zoo must have like put the rhino's name down on a piece of paper to say, here's the nomination. No?
No. It wasn't
Okay.
from the zoo.
All right.
It was somebody who thought the rhino was awesome.
Oh, okay. So it was someone who had been to the zoo and was like, that rhino deserves
Thick
to be
skin,
a politician.
brother. It's thick skin.
That's right. Maybe we could use a little more rhino in our current politics.
Not the horn, just the rhino.
Yeah, the rhino.
It definitely flies in a convention. There are actually people running. They will be running in selected areas. I can't remember how many candidates they have. It's more than 20. Most of them are in Quebec, but there will be more than 20. And if you really wanted to run, I think if you raised up enough money, you could run for the Rhino Party. If you actually raised $1,000, or you're willing to just use your $1,000 to run to try to become the first member of Parliament.
Maybe
for the Rhino Party.
I mean, it's too late to do that for 2019, but maybe I should do that for the next federal election.
What, run as a Rhino Party candidate?
Maybe we should do that together. I know you can't do like joint candidate, but maybe what we should do is we'll come up with an alias, and we'll come up with the money, and we'll run as an individual, and then we'll show up to different events, claiming to be whatever this alias is.
Patreon is spelled
PATREON.com/Poutine Politics. If you would like to see Mike and I run as a single individual for the Rhino Party in the election in, I guess, 2023 or sooner.
That's PoutinePolitics.com.
No, .ca. .ca.
We're .ca?
We're PoutinePolitics.ca.
Oh, amazing. As long as there's no political reform. If there's actually electoral reform, then no. But if there isn't, then hell yeah. That'd be fun. Show up to random events. I would you could show up to any event. I would show up to a bus stop and have a soapbox.
Could you imagine though if under the current number of seats that are in the House of Commons, let's say there were enough people like us who would do something like this for a lark, would just totally do it for fun and be like, you know what, I'm going to run as the Rhino candidate in the next election. And let's say as a result, the Rhinoceros Party of Canada had someone running in every single riding, and they actually got 1% of the vote, and our election system was changed to proportional representation.
Mm-hmm.
There would be 3 seats of Rhino Party members in that parliament.
Mm-hmm.
We got to get on that list.
Right?
I mean, obviously we need electoral reform first, but we got to get on that list. 2023, vote Poutine politic for Rhino Party.
Cornelius, I believe his name is.
Well, I mean the name that we have to come up with to run as a single entity, and every question period it'll be for either you will show up or I will show up. Okay, we can't both be there obviously because it's only one seat. But if we just keep swapping out,
there's only ever one person.
We'll figure it out.
There's only ever one person.
We'll figure it out. It'll be all right.
It'll be fine.
Don't worry.
Great.
We can have both pictures on the ID badge.
Mm-hmm.
Security doesn't really look at those things. No, we'll be all right. All right. Any other Rhino points to cover?
No. There's some stuff that is no longer applicable, so
Oh,
it's not so much fun.
what kind of stuff?
Well,
Just give me one. Give us one thing that doesn't apply anymore. Something they used to run on, I guess.
at one point in time, they wanted to create dams everywhere to increase the beaver population because it's the national animal.
Well, I mean that could still apply.
Well, no, they took it down. Like I'm not like these are the ones that.
Oh, okay. It's not a platform. It's not a policy
on the
anymore.
platform right now.
Okay,
Yes.
but I mean that's one that they could bring back.
Oh, of course they could.
Well, I mean, why not? They already want the Queen to come here from England to live in Quebec.
Yeah, because they can privatize her, so she gets more money.
Yes. Well,
It's
then
genius.
that could be her business. Her business could be making money, building more dams, so that the beaver population increases.
She raised dolphins. She's fine.
Okay. Well, I'm spitballing ideas here.
That's my favorite fact about the Queen: the fact that she owns all the dolphins around England.
There's got to be okay. It's not like car ownership. There's there can't be paperwork. I assume there's like some sort of like a bill that was passed that basically says all those dolphins, yeah, they're the Queen's.
All the dolphins in any dolphin found around the United Kingdom are hers.
But what if it leaves? Or are you talking like they're in captivity?
No, not the captivity ones. The ones in the wild.
They migrate.
Yeah, I know.
I guess that is a way that the term "the sun never sets on the British Empire" could still be true.
Yes, it's great. It's great.
All
Like
right.
that's my favorite fact. Like not the fact that Queen used to regularly drive diplomats around because she was a good driver and didn't want to hand over the wheels to anybody else. That's not the fact that I loved.
Yeah.
The fact that she doesn't need a driver's license because she's like, I make the law, so you can go take your law and go anywhere you want with it.
Yeah.
It's my law. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
It's like Judge Dredd. I am the law.
Yeah. So yeah. No, there's nothing really else with the Rhino Party.
All right. Well, this has been a whimsical episode of Poutine Politics. Thanks for listening. My name's Adam.
My name's Mike.
We'll talk to you soon.